So it doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve or chase in the material world. Most people are doing this backwards. Most people are trying to force the result into their life with lots of action, lots of effort, and ultimately they experience friction and resistance. Maybe you're feeling like that right now. This video isn't going to teach you that. It's not going to teach you the hustle mindset. It's not going to teach you work really, really hard. Do you need to put action in? 100%. But if you can master your inner state, your emotional state, you'll be able to master your reality. And when I speak about this checks out through the neuroscience lens, human behavior lens, metaphysical lens. By the end of this video, you're going to understand how to master your state and what that even means, how to maintain it on a daily basis, because ultimately that's what really matters. This video would not be an effective, useful video for you to watch if you couldn't take it into daily life and maintain a really good state. And you're going to understand what that means in a minute or after this video. And ultimately, this video is going to give you the awareness to take control, to really finally get the big results. Because I see it time and time again. I work with business owners, entrepreneurs. They come to me. They're trying really hard because this isn't a discipline problem. It's not a motivation problem. It's a problem with your inner state. They take the action before they're in the right state. But if you can get into the right state before you take the action, you're going to get all the results that you can ever imagine. Much quicker than you can imagine as well. And that's going to be very clear after this video. So you master the state, you're going to master the reality. Let's get into it. I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want to drag this out. I want to get straight into it. So I want you to know there are only two fundamental states that you can be in, a primal state and a creative state. And you need to know that you can only be in one state at a time. You cannot be in two states at once. And every single emotion that you will experience as a human fits into these two states. So we've just said there, the primal and the creative state. Here are a list of the emotions that you will experience when you're in either of these states so you can make more sense of it to you right now. So you'll have this stress state, anxiety, shame, anger, fear, guilt, overwhelm. They're the kind of emotions that you will feel when you're in a primal state. And when you're in a creative state, you will feel emotions of love, peace, joy, gratitude, confidence, inspiration, certainty. That's the emotions that you will feel and experience when you're in a creative state. And we can also look at this through a neuroscience lens, where you can be in the primal state, which is a sympathetic nervous state. So your nervous system is actually in a sympathetic state. And the other side of that is a parasympathetic state, the parasympathetic nervous state, also known as the rest, digest, and align state. The sympathetic state is the fight or flight or the freeze, that kind of nervous state you can be in. And we can also look at this through the lens of metaphysics, the laws of frequency, where you can be in a contracted state or an expanded state. And let's quickly look at this through here, because I don't want to just give you the science lens, because I know a lot of people, they love to look at it through the metaphysical lens. That'll make sense in a little minute. But we can see on this chart, this is a laws of frequency chart. And you can see there's a frequency attached to each emotion: enlightenment, peace, joy, love. And above about here, you've got the expanded states, like we just mentioned. You've got all the positive emotions that you're going to have in this creative state. And then below that, you've got the contracted state, where you're going to be feeling emotions like guilt, shame, fear, anger. They're the kind of emotions that you'll feel in this contracted state. So why is this relevant? Well, through a metaphysical lens, you've got the law of vibration, which is the primary law. And then you've got the law of attraction, which is the secondary law. And these laws operate just like gravity does. So if you don't believe in gravity, guess what? If you jump off a building, you're going to hit the ground and die. Not likely, it's going to happen, whether you believe in gravity or not. And that's the same way that these laws operate. They operate whether you believe in them or not. So it's very relevant for us to cover these right now. And the law of attraction states that like attracts like. And why is this relevant? Well, your frequency, and we've just spoke about it there, whatever state that you're in, the emotion that you're putting out is the frequency that you're vibrating on. Whatever resonates with your frequency will be attracted into your life through the lens of metaphysics, through the lens of law of attraction. Here's an example, and this is real life. You can understand this right now as we're speaking. An example is, think of someone that you know who is negative. How does their life look? Answer that in your head right now. Does it align with their dominant state? Does it align with their frequency? Well, likely yes. And guess what? This isn't random. It's not random at all. You will attract into your life whatever resonates with the frequency that you're vibrating on. And we can look at this as the emotional state that you're in. So imagine you could master your state. Imagine you could master your state by watching a video like this. And you could consistently be in these expansive emotions. Well, through the metaphysical lens, you're going to attract into your life experiences, a reality that has more of these emotions in it, that makes you feel this way. And you can think about the negative person again. They're unlucky. Life's hard to them. It's just not, they're a victim. Their life doesn't look good. Their life looks what? In alignment with that vibration, with that frequency, with that feeling, with the state that they're in. It reflects their inner state. So that's why it's so important that you need to be in the right state before you take the action. Because if you're taking the action in the wrong state, you understand what happens after this video. So we can look at it through the metaphysical lens. So we've covered that. Okay, the law of attraction, law of vibration. But simply, we can just call this your emotional state. Very easy. This is your emotional state. Because that's how you, as a human, experience it. This primal, this creative state, you experience it as emotion. So it's going to be very simple to just think about it as your emotional state. And a principle that you need to carry into your life, if you take one thing away from this video, one single thing, is state first, action second. So important. State first, action second. That needs to be how you operate in life if you want to get the most out of life in terms of results with the least amount of effort. And it doesn't mean you don't need to try hard or take any action. I'm not delusional. I'm not on the boat of you just think and feel things into your life. Definitely not. But it'll make a lot of sense after this video. Can you take the right action in the wrong state though? Can you actually do it? Yes, you can. So that essentially you can definitely take the right action in the wrong state, but there's going to be resistance. So it's important for you to know that you can. Kyle, I don't care about your state. You can keep that to yourself. I'm going to just keep grinding and taking action. You can do that, but guess what's going to happen? There's going to be resistance, and this resistance will show up as self-sabotage, procrastination. You're going to feel burnt out. You're going to be inconsistent. And it's happening because you're in the wrong state. Although you're taking the right action, you're not starting with the right state, sorry. So the right state, the right action will lead to you having no resistance, and you're going to be able to flow. You're going to be able to flow into the future, flow towards the results. No resistance. Take the right action as long as you're in the right state. Because if we look at this mechanism here, the things that you think about, and it's going to give you an idea of what actually determines the state that you're in, lead to how you feel emotionally, and then obviously therefore drives your actions. So ultimately, it is your focus that determines how you feel and dictates whatever state that you're in. But sometimes changing your focus doesn't work. So although yes, your focus is what will dictate the state that you're in, sometimes just changing your focus. Imagine you're in a primal state and you're feeling angry. And I say to you, listen, just change your focus. You're going to feel better by changing your focus. You'll be like, Kyle, fuck off. Right? I don't care. Change my focus. Who are you talking to? You're probably going to react because you're in a really primal state. So if you're in a primal state, sometimes changing your focus doesn't work. Although your focus is genuinely what makes you feel the certain way that you do, because that's the mechanism that operates inside your mind. It doesn't matter because sometimes it won't work. So how do you change the state? Okay, every single time. What's a way that I can give you, a method I can give you that's going to allow you to change your state, even if you're in a really stressed out state? Well, to go from this primal to the creative state, the best way, the most effective way to do this is firstly breath work. And you want to have a shorter inhale and a longer exhale. This is going to down-regulate your nervous system. Remember what we spoke about, sympathetic and parasympathetic. It's going to take you from that sympathetic state into a parasympathetic state. It's going to allow you to calm down and down-regulate your nervous system. After that, you then move. Okay, open posture. So when you're stressed out in a primal state, you're going to be in probably like a state like this, a posture like this. Open up your posture. Do that breathing as you do that. And then press-ups is to failure. I generally give this to my clients. It's a state alignment protocol that I give my clients. Press-ups to failure. Really max out press-ups, okay? It's going to allow you to, and I like to think about the analogy when you're in a primal state, when you're in a negative state. Think about like you've got this web of energy around you, this negative web of energy. By doing the press-ups or moving, you're breaking that web. You're almost breaking up that field of energy around you, and you're allowing you then to shift the focus. And simply just to the success. Shift your focus to the life that you want, to the result, how it's going to feel to have the result that you want. And then make a decision that's aligned with that identity. This is the best way to change your state. Breath, move, change your focus because you've breathed and moved. You can change your focus now, right? Before you couldn't, but you've done it. You're able to now. And then make a decision that aligns with your identity. So decide who you're going to be in that moment, and then take an action and move forward. So an action would be after decision. But when we're thinking about this, where your focus ultimately determines how you feel, there's really with this line leading down here, there's a very important thing that you need to understand. And that is, most of the time it's subconscious. So when you feel negative and you feel in this negative stressed out state, it's likely something subconscious happening in your subconscious mind that is really important to understand, that this operates below your conscious awareness. So it operates below your conscious awareness. So when you're consciously aware, you'll be like, you'll think, oh no, there's nothing to stress out about. So why am I stressed out? Well, there's going to be something subconscious that's created that stress, that state that you got into. Subconsciously, your focus will have drifted to something that exists subconsciously, but it's below your conscious awareness. So that's why you won't even be aware of what put you in that state until you learn what I'm about to teach you right now. So I want you to go into your life now. And you would agree, and every client agrees, that it's easy to notice when you feel shit. It's easy to notice when you feel shit. So just notice when you go into this primal state, this negative state. Notice when you shift into that state. Then I want you to notice your thoughts when you're in that state. So just notice what you're thinking about. And then notice and ask the question, what beliefs must exist, okay, if these thoughts were the truth? So imagine you're feeling negative and you notice that you're thinking about things aren't going to work out. Things are going to go wrong. Imagine this happens. Then you question, right, what would I need to believe in order for these thoughts to be the truth? Well, I would need to believe that things aren't going to work out. I would need to believe that everything's going to go wrong. I would need to believe that I'm not capable of making it work. Do you actually believe that? You won't. You won't actually believe that. 100% of the time, they will be false. Those thoughts you're thinking, those beliefs that are existing subconsciously, they will be false. And there's such a powerful part about this is, this exercise is going to reveal the subconscious limiting beliefs. So just by you noticing the state that you're in, negative primal state, and then noticing what thoughts you're thinking about, and then questioning what beliefs must exist subconsciously for this, if these thoughts were the truth, what beliefs would I need to have? You're going to notice that there's subconscious beliefs that support those thoughts because consciously you don't agree with them. And every single time you go into this negative state, 100% of the time, you're going to be thinking about things that are false, that aren't true. And that's why you don't feel good. Think about how perfect we are as humans. This isn't I'm not going to go sidetrack too much, but think about how perfect we are as humans. You have like so many chemical reactions keeping you alive right now. It's like unbelievable. The chances of you even existing is pretty much impossible. So if we don't feel good, that must mean there's something out of alignment. There's something that doesn't align with our truth. Because our being is too perfect. Like we're made too perfectly to feel bad. Like it's been normalized that you feel shit. It's okay not to be okay. You're not supposed to not be okay as a human. You were made too perfectly. Whether you're religious or not, God did not create you, the Creator did not create you so perfectly for you to walk about life stressed out. It's not why you were created. You were created by God, by the Creator, whatever you believe in, to be perfect, to feel good. So when you're not feeling good, there's something in your mind, whatever's going on, that's not aligned with your truth. And therefore, every time it's going to be false. So hopefully that makes sense. All you need to do is notice your state, notice your thoughts, notice what beliefs support those thoughts, if the thoughts were the truth. And you'll notice 100% of the time, those thoughts are going to be false. Those beliefs are not going to be aligned with what you truly consciously believe. Therefore, they're going to be subconscious. And honestly, if you've read some books or you studied psychology before, you'll know of a guy called Carl Jung. Carl Jung speaks about if you make the unconscious conscious, you will gain control. So you do not take for granted that if you do the exercise that I've just spoke to you about there, that I taught you there, by noticing your state, noticing what thoughts you're thinking about, and then noticing what subconscious belief must exist, by making those subconscious beliefs conscious, you've already won. By making them conscious, you've already won. You need to not take that for granted. You can't take this awareness for granted. It's so powerful. You're going to gain so much control, but there'll be a part of you, the ego, that will come in and think, or make you think, nah, you don't have control. Just because you can see that doesn't mean you have control. You do. You genuinely do. As soon as you make the unconscious conscious, you're in control. So what is the right state? I want to make this clear. What is the right state? Well, it's the creative state, Kyle, of course. But what's the right state for you? Well, the right state for you is the version of you who has the success. That's what the right state is for you. So I want to give you this example. And this first example is going to allow you to understand how you can start taking action where you don't need to feel like it's hard. How can you start taking action and remove the resistance? It's also, I think, 6 p.m. and we've got new tonic, we've got a bit of caffeine, but we're here and I'm dedicated for this video to be one of the most powerful videos you've ever watched in your life. Because if you master this stuff, it's not even a joke. If you're watching this genuinely right now, I love you so much, but I'm so excited that you can soak this in. This is genuinely some of the most valuable content you can ever soak in your life to master your state, to master your reality. So grateful for you doing this. So here's the example. Imagine there's you now. So this is you right now. And and this is just an example. This might not be your goal. You might have 1 million, you might have 10 million, 100 million, but this is just an example. We're going to call the version of you that has the success, we're going to just refer that to 100K. It could be 100K a day, a month, a year, whatever it is for you. But imagine this here is the version of you that has the success. Imagine this state. Okay, and when I say state, we're obviously talking about the mental, okay, and emotional state. So essentially how that person is thinking and feeling, okay? I want to just refer to this here. Think, feel, what's the next part? Action. So if we're matching the thoughts and the feelings, the state of the version of you that has the success, in this example it's 100K, then aligned actions are already done whilst you're in this state. For the version of you that's already done it, if you feel that like that person, well then you're matching the feeling of already having it done. And it's easy for the guy who's done it. So instead of, like, this is what most people do, is they exist in the state of where they're currently at right now. I've got these things to do. I've got so much work to do. I need to work so hard to get there. Well, let's drop that approach for a minute while you're watching this video and think about what state you would be in when you have the result. How would that feel? What emotional state would you be in? Peace, love, joy, abundance, gratitude, fulfillment, confidence, conviction. You would have all these emotions. You'd feel so powerful when you had that result. Perfect. So if you can get into, and I'm going to give you tools to show you how to actually do this, but if you can get into the state of having that thing already, guess what? Guess what? All these little aligned actions, these little gold lines that I've drawn, these are aligned actions that are going to take you from where you are now to that result. If you're in the state of having what you want, all of these actions are easy. There's no resistance because you're existing in the state of the version of you that's already done it. So taking these actions is just done already. You're not going to feel any resistance towards it. But if you're existing here now and you're looking at all these actions from where you are now and you're like, oh, this is what I've currently got and I feel like it. No, you're going to have resistance. You're going to be procrastinating. You're going to self-sabotage. You're going to be inconsistent. You're going to feel burnt out. But if you're existing in this state at the top here, all of these actions are already done. Amazing. So you match that state, you're going to fly through all these actions that you're right now procrastinating with. And when you're aligned with this state, okay, I want you to really be aware this is some next level awareness here. This is not some average awareness. This is some serious stuff. When you're aligned with this state, the state of having what you want mentally and emotionally, and you're in a relaxed, I want to reinforce this, you're relaxed as well. So you're in the state, you're feeling what it's like to have what you want, you're going to be in a relaxed state. What's going to happen is you're going to intuitively, didn't mean to cross it out, but you're going to intuitively receive ideas because when you tune into the frequency that resonates. So when you tune into the frequency that resonates, the frequency is that state that you're in, that vibration, the emotional state. When you align that with the version of you that has success, you're going to intuitively receive ideas. Okay, because the brain is a receiver. Mindset. The brain is a receiver. So whatever you set your mind to, it'll make sense in a minute, you're going to receive. If you're in a negative state, you're going to receive negative thoughts and ideas. If you're in a creative state, you're going to in again, creative state, that good state that's aligned with that result, you're going to receive aligned thoughts and ideas that align with that version of you that has the success. Let me give you a quick example. I was on a call with a client, literally 1 week into working together, and he was in a negative state, thinking about things not going to go right, doubt, not feeling motivated, generally really negative. But this boy, he's already making between 10 and 20k a month, but his goal is 50k a month. We had one call. We got him out of the state. We got him into the state of feeling what it's like using a tool that I'm going to speak to you guys towards the end of the video. And it got him into the right state. The state of having what it is that he already wants. 100k a month is his goal. And what happened when he maintained that state, using the tools and the alignment protocol that I gave him, then what happened was he started to receive aligned thoughts and ideas that aligned with that version of himself that had success, that took him towards that. So he had an idea to hire someone to take over his whole content strategy for 5k a month. He's hiring this person to pay him 5k a month. When he came to me, he was stressed out about money. But as soon as he shifted his state, right, before when he was in a negative state, he had negative thoughts and ideas. Think about it. Negative thoughts and ideas. This won't work. Doubt. It's not going to work out. I'm feeling shit. Right? But when we shifted his state into the creative state that aligned with the version of him that had the success, he got aligned thoughts and ideas that was going to take him towards that life. Okay? Because he was in the perfect state. Because ultimately, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. You get what you are, not what you want. So as he became that version of himself, emotionally in that state, he had an idea. I'm going to hire that guy. No resistance to do it as well. He came to me worried about money. Came to me worried about the result. Came to me worried about things going wrong. And as soon as we shifted his state, aligned idea, aligned action came into his mind. And he took it. And he was only able to take the action because he was in the right state. But he got that thought and idea because he was in the right state. So you can see how your state not only allows you to take the action, but when you're in the right state, you're going to be receiving ideas and information that align with that state. Let me make that even clearer for you, right? The human eyes, through a process called refraction, are only able to see about 0.0035% of the electromagnetic light spectrum. You're only able to see 0.0035%. It's been shown by science. So everything you can see with your eyes is the tiny, tiny minority of what actually exists in reality. The other 99.9% is an infinite field of information. That's where all the thoughts and all the ideas are stored. Okay? And occultists, so guys and people that study occult, esoteric wisdom, I'm one of them people. The Kabbalion is, again, where this comes from, or one of the books it comes from. They refer to this as the mental plane. So the physical plane is this 0.035 that we can see, the physical reality, this physical hard table. And the mental plane is that 99.9%. It's the other majority, I'm like exaggerating this because it's the majority of reality. Whereas most people are stuck seeing what they can see with their eyes. Okay, it's not good if you're in that boat, if you're stuck in that boat. And whatever we set our mind, remember, set our mind. That's why we call it mindset. Whatever we set our mind on, we tune our awareness to that focus and we receive thoughts that align with it. So remember, if you set your mind on things aren't going to go right, what are you going to do? You're going to receive all the information from the field, the 99.9%. You're going to receive information that aligns with that state that you're in, that aligns with that focus that you're in. But if you can get into the state of being that aligns with the version of you that has the success, making 100k a month, having the ultimate freedom, having the success, having the business, whatever that looks like for you, if you can match that state, set your focus on that and maintain it, what are you going to do? You're going to receive inspired ideas, thoughts, intuitive ideas, and thoughts that align with that life that you want. You're going to get ideas that are going to take you there, but not if you don't fix your focus and attention on it, because our mind is a receiver. I think that's it, yeah. Our mind is a receiver. Hopefully this is landing. Hopefully this is making sense. So important. So important. We have access to infinite potential, a field of infinite information and potential thoughts and ideas. And whatever we place our focus on, we get more of. Whatever we set our mind on, we receive. Serious. This is serious. This is serious work. But Kyle, how do I set my state daily? I mean, that's what really matters, isn't it? Like, how do I set my state daily? Because this is really good information, really, really powerful stuff. But if you can't take this into daily life and you can't maintain this creative state, it's kind of useful. Because you might feel really good after watching this video, like, oh my God, I've got so much awareness. If I just ended it here, which I'm not going to, but how can you take this into your daily life and how can you maintain this state so that you can take the action that you're supposed to take with no resistance and you can receive thoughts and ideas that will take you towards that life? How do you do it? Well, let's speak about it. Firstly, a good day starts the night before. You need to know that. A good day starts the night before. I don't know how many times I've gave clients some of the work that I'm about to show you, and I've told them to start it in the morning, and they never do. And it's because a good day starts the night before. If you want to win the day, you need to set yourself up the night before. If you go into bed in the wrong state, you're going to wake up in the wrong state. I need to reinforce this. Another thing, if you take anything away, a couple of things away from this video, a good day starts the night before. Stop letting your future self, wake up in the wrong state because you didn't prepare the night before. You need to start serving your future self instead of serving your current comfort. Future needs over current comfort. That's what you need to think about. Be a butler for your future self. If you can have that shift in your mind, you're going to be in the right state all the time because your present self will be able to thank your past self and be grateful for what they did to put you in the position you're currently in right now. That new tonic is creating some bubbles. Let me get some more in. Okay, so what does this look like? A good day starts the night before. Well, a PM protocol, super important. I would really recommend starting with a journal. Let me give you a little insight into how I would give you this journal protocol. And see if you're watching this video to this point in the video, you're getting golden wisdom. This is going to give you what you need to maintain this on a daily basis. Super powerful. So, like we just spoke about, when I told you before the exercise, notice the state, notice what you're thinking about, notice what beliefs must exist. We've already done this. That is step one of the journal protocol. And this is going to allow you to become aware of old patterns, aware of what beliefs exist that are holding you back. Okay, you can actually start to coach yourself. You don't even really need a coach. You likely will you will definitely benefit more from working with someone like me. But this gives you the awareness that a coach would give you. If you can ask yourself these questions, honestly, your ego might still filter it, so it's important to get a coach and get external questioning. But this is genuinely going to give you so much awareness. It's so powerful. So this is it. Step number one, awareness of old patterns. When today did I fall into a primal state? What was I thinking when I was in this state? What belief must exist for these thoughts to be the truth? What do I really believe in alignment with the truth that I will be successful? So this is where, this part here is when you actually think about the truth and the truth that you actually align with. Okay? Step number two, you're going to track every micro proof and evidence of the new identity. So what you ask the question, what is every piece of evidence that proves I'm aligned with the ideal version of myself? So every single thing that you've done today to move the needle, to move towards the life that you want, every little piece of evidence, write it down, note it down. Imagine you note down 10 pieces of evidence every single day. By the end of the week, you've got 70 pieces of evidence that show you you're moving in the right direction. That's going to help you maintain your state because you've got all this proof to look at. Humans, we love proof. We love physical evidence, okay? That's going to give you the list of physical evidence that you need. It's going to satisfy your mammalian brain of, oh, I actually don't know if it's right. Yeah, you will know that it's real because you're going to have this list of evidence. So you need to do this. Then what I've done is for clients, I've told them to create a new page. So just flip the page over. Super simple. And step number 3, you list what are 6 needle moving activities that can be done in alignment with my vision tomorrow. So you list it from the hardest to the easiest and you do the hardest first, the most important first. Listing 6 needle moving tasks for tomorrow, the night before, you're ahead of the game. You're thinking about what you're doing tomorrow already. So when you wake up, there's no what do I do today, you're being proactive. So proactive, so important to be like this. Then you ask the question, how does a version of me who has success show up tomorrow? What state are they in? What behavior do they carry out? How do they behave? If you do this in the PM, you're going to set yourself up. Just this journaling will change your life. Just doing this will change your life. It will anchor your state. It will give you more awareness. Awareness equals control. You're going to be more in control by doing this. Like I say here, awareness equals control. So what can you do as well as the journal? Well, you can do a hypnosis track or you can use hypnosis. What is hypnosis more specifically and how do I give it to my clients in the current moment? Well, they get a guided visualization that I've done with them. Okay, when I do the guided visualization, I guide them into trance state. And what happens is I make a specific track for them, the version of them they want to become, the details of the life that they want, the vision that they have. That gets put into a custom hypnosis track that they can use every morning and every night, or every night and every morning, to not only emotionally experience the life that they want, okay, which rewires the subconscious mind, because the language of your subconscious is emotional, and your brain and your subconscious mind can't distinguish and uses the same neural circuits as reality when you have an emotional, vivid experience in your imagination. So by them doing this hypnosis track, they're emotionally experiencing the life that they want. So they're really connecting to the state. They're actually living in the state by being in that state and being in this visualization, but they're rewiring their subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind thinks that's reality. And they're in this theta state. They're in this relaxed state. And they're installing this identity. The example of this, an example I can give recently, is my twin brother Jack. Okay, he fell asleep and he done this at nighttime. And during the night, after like falling asleep or going to sleep with the track in his ears, he had dreams aligned with the vision. He actually came up with ideas and answers that he didn't have before during his sleep in the dream, because his subconscious mind was just running the program, running the track. So he woke up with answers that he wouldn't have had if he didn't go to bed like that. So he woke up with ideas. But guess how he woke up? He woke up in the right state, because his whole sleep, his brain just soaked that program in the full night before bed. The subconscious was just reprogramming, running the program, the script, the hypnosis. Have you ever had an argument before your bed? Or you thought about something, or you watched a TV program, or you spoke to someone, and then they were in your dream? Well, imagine, instead of that, instead of an argument, instead of someone in your life, you were actually emotionally experiencing life that you want before you fall asleep. And then your whole sleep, your whole dream state is going to be in alignment with that track, that new identity, the life that you want. Super powerful. It's like more powerful than you can actually really understand unless you're taking in what I'm saying right now. So super powerful, this hypnosis track. And what also happens here, because you get into a relaxed state, so to reinforce this, I want you to think about this as your mind. I want you to think this is your conscious mind here, and this is your subconscious mind. And in hypnosis, we have this filter that we call the critical faculty. And what happens if I was to give you a suggestion of, imagine you're wanting to make 100K a month. And I said to you, you're making 100K this month. There's a part of you, if I give you this suggestion of making 100K, your critical faculty, your analytical mind is going to reject that. And it's going to reject it because it wants to maintain consistency in here. So with whatever you've got currently in your subconscious mind, whatever identity that you run, you're making 10K a month, you're not making 100K a month. Your critical faculty, the critical analytical mind, wants to maintain consistency. So when you're just like in this switched on state that you're on right now when you're watching this video, you're going to reject this new suggestion. But what happens when I get my clients into trance state, the theta brainwave state, when they do their hypnosis track, this filter, you can think of it, it starts to open up, it starts to soften, and the suggestibility of the subconscious mind goes up, the resistance drops. So they, in their mind, are actually experiencing what it's like to have that result. Their conscious mind isn't active. Their conscious mind is quiet. The resistance is down. So by doing these hypnosis tracks, this filter that would usually block the idea of you making 100K a month, my clients are in this visualization, doing the hypnosis tracks, emotionally experiencing life that they want. Tears in their eyes. Their mum's congratulating them. Their family are congratulating them for having the result. They're in the car that they want. They've got the business they want. They've got the freedom they want. They're in the place. They're in the exact life, and their brain can't distinguish between that and reality. So what's really happening is when I'm saying install the identity, they're literally going in and they're adding this new identity to their subconscious mind. And remember, the subconscious mind is operating below your conscious awareness. So when you do these tracks consistently, you're not only reprogramming your subconscious mind and your identity, but that state that I'm trying to reinforce to you to get into, that's going to become your baseline. You're not going to have to try and consciously get into that state. By doing these hypnosis tracks every night and every morning, my clients get this new baseline state of peace, of gratitude, of confidence, of joy. My client that I was speaking about earlier, Leo, he said, Kyle, it's unbelievable. I actually can't think negatively. He came to me wrapped in negative thoughts. He said, it's actually unbelievable. He was laughing. It was unbelievable, Kyle. I actually can't think negatively anymore. Why? Because his new subconscious program, his new baseline state that he exists in by doing the hypnosis tracks, is peace, is confidence. is it random that in the track, that's what we're installing? No, because this actually works. This actually reprograms your subconscious mind. And because you've been doing it daily, he's not even trying and he's more confident. He's not even trying, his baseline state is peace. So I need to reinforce, this is happening in real time. Real clients are getting real results. They're really reprogramming their subconscious mind. So the information I'm giving you in this video is not just a YouTube video that's not tangible. If you tap into this work, if you get involved with what I'm doing, you're going to be able to do this, what my clients are doing. You're going to be able to do this. This isn't like for YouTube. This is real life. So I want to, again, maybe I've repeated myself, but I think it's relevant to do that. So you've then also got the AM protocol because you want to anchor your state in the morning. Remember, it's the same, and we'll speak about the journal in a second, but I want to go on this hypnosis track. It's the same as above, what we've just spoke about. But in the morning, it's state first, action second. You're brainwashing yourself before the day brainwashes you. So you'll wake up, a lot of people wake up, go on their phone straight away, right? And then what happens? They'll see something on social media and they'll start to get affected by that thing that they're seeing. So they're starting to get brainwashed by the day before they can brainwash themselves. In this scenario, brainwash, obviously, or you actually brainwash yourself, it's just a term that I'm using. But you understand what I'm saying. So before you get the stress of the day coming towards you, you anchor your state by using this track. And what happens, state first, action second, you flow with no resistance. So you just go into your day. And what have you got? So powerful how this just works together, these protocols. It's so amazing that I'm giving you this information right now for free. Your morning journal, okay? And you don't really need to read this bit, okay? But again, we just spoke about it there. But you pick, regarding this, review the needle moving tasks that you wrote in the journal the night before and from the PM, and affirm who you're being. So those needle moving tasks that you list in the night before, because you're in the right state, you just fly into taking those actions with no resistance. You just start ticking them off because you're in the right state. It's actually like, this is real life cheat codes. It really is. This is real life cheat codes. I cannot, I'm maybe getting a bit excitable right now because it's actually unbelievable how powerful this is. But when you have the clarity, and when you're doing this morning and nighttime, and you're reprogramming your subconscious mind, and the state's coming before the action, you're going to be getting results without even trying. You're going to be making hires in your business that before you had resistance around without even double thinking it. It's just going to feel right, especially if you're doing this work, especially if you're tapping into the hypnosis tracks and subconscious reprogramming. This is going to make success inevitable as long as you tap into it and apply yourself. Because what we've just spoke about, as I said, it checks out through the metaphysical lens, the human behavioral lens, the neuroscience lens. This all makes so much sense through every lens that you look at it through. Through every truth that we can speak about, it makes so much fucking sense. And there's a missing piece that I always had, and it was this. I always had a really powerful conversation with a client. And on the call, they would consciously agree with everything that I'm saying. They'd feel amazing about what we're talking about. They would be like, Kyle, you've changed my life. What happens? They go back to falling into the same patterns. Why? Because most of your behaviors are controlled, your automatic behaviors, by your subconscious programming. But by what we're doing now with clients and the information I've just gave you, you're actually reprogramming your subconscious processes. So not only do you have a strong emotional charge when we have a powerful conversation or you watch a video like this, if you tap into this work, you're actually going to be able to maintain the shift because your subconscious will be reprogrammed to align with the shift that you've had. Hopefully this has made sense. Hopefully this video's landed. Hopefully it's changed your life, because honestly, this is the truth. Honestly, this is the truth. And let me just throw in some bonus wisdom for you, because if you're still watching this, you deserve this, right? So what you're doing also when you're doing all this, okay, when you're updating your identity, you're also updating your belief system. You're installing new beliefs. Because remember when I use this diagram here, this suggestion is like a new belief. Do you believe that you're making 100K? No, I don't believe. Yeah, but when you're in the relaxed state, you can experience that. I can put you there. You can experience it. You can have the car. You can have the life. You can have the fucking result that you want, right? So what's happening when you're in this emotional state and you're experiencing it, you're updating your beliefs. So again, here's another lens that you can look at this through where it checks out. This is you, okay? And I'll give you biceps because I know that you're solid. You're looking at life, okay? And you look at life, we'll just call it life here. You look at life through this lens, your reticular activating system. Okay, your reticular activating system filters reality through your beliefs, okay, and what you deem to be important for survival, but we'll stay in beliefs. And what that does is it uses confirmation bias to filter reality, okay, confirmation bias, to filter reality to back up these beliefs. So what your brain's going to do is, so we spoke about it tapping into infinite consciousness, this infinite intelligence, this is a little bit different because this is you actually seeing reality with your eyes. But you're going to filter reality through this lens of your reticular activating system. You're going to use confirmation bias to find evidence to back up these beliefs. So if you're shifting the beliefs in your mind subconsciously that you have the life that you want, that you have the goal already achieved, and it's definitely possible, not only are you going to receive ideas and intuitive ideas by being in the right state, you're going to find evidence in reality, right? So think about this. You're going to find opportunities, right? These opportunities, it's not even spelled right, I'm just getting too excited here to tell you this because it's amazing. Imagine you speak to someone and you've got this new belief that I'm going to be successful, I've got this business I'm going to launch, I'm going towards that goal, it's definitely achievable because you've updated your belief system subconsciously by doing the hypnosis tracks. You're going to find this evidence, your reticular activating system will be used to find evidence. So imagine you're having a conversation with someone and they seem like a really good client. They seem like they've got problems that you can help them solve. They seem like there's someone that you could pay you money. They seem like someone that you can maybe partner with. You're going to filter reality to see them as someone you can work with. You're going to see that opportunity. But if you didn't have a belief that's aligned with that life that you want, if you didn't rewire your subconscious mind and update your belief system by doing these hypnosis tracks, you wouldn't see that person as someone that you could use or would you say, connect with in order to move towards that life that you want. Because you would have these negative beliefs. You would have, oh, it can't work. You would be in the wrong state. So you wouldn't even see the opportunity. So it's not as if opportunities are like magicking out of nowhere. Are you going to get ideas that you didn't have before? Yeah, because you're feeding into that infinite intelligence that we spoke about. But you're going to see opportunities that are probably right in front of you right now by filtering reality, using your reticular activating system and updating your belief system with the hypnosis tracks. Super powerful stuff. Before I keep going, because this will end up being like a 90-minute long video, but it was meant to be on mastering your state. That was just a little bit of bonus wisdom. I hope this has made sense. If you get any questions, I would urge you to message me on Instagram, reach out, ask me any questions you've got. And if you're watching this video, I want you to book in below and have a free call with me. If any of this has landed, if any of this feels like it's something you want to actually apply and put into practice, book a call with me below. And that is purely out of love. I want you to book it because it's an opportunity for you to speak to me one-to-one for free, no strings attached, and potentially you lock this work in and become unlimited. Master your state, master the reality. Get all the results that you can ever want with less effort and feeling better on a day-to-day basis using the things that we spoke about. So I would love you to book in the call because if you want to really start getting the results and you're wanting to grow your business, you're feeling stuck right now, that link is an opportunity for you to really change all of this. Permanently as well. No joke. No lies. Not trying to sell you something for no reason. There's no catch. This shit works. This information, I see it as the truth because it checks out through every lens you can look at it through. Metaphysics, as I spoke about, human behavior, psychology, neuroscience. It all makes sense. Universal laws, hermeticism, esoteric wisdom. It just all makes perfect fucking sense. And hopefully it's made sense to you. And if you feel it's the truth, book the call, let's speak, and let's apply this to your life and become fucking unlimited. I appreciate you so much. If you're still watching this, I love you so much for watching this and giving me your time and attention. Until the next YouTube video, I'll speak to you soon. And honestly, you're fucking unlimited, and you should know that. Until the next one.